Spence Badcliffe here, and I am with the director of the Super Mario Brothers movie, Michael Jelenic. And I'm going to be interviewing him, asking some fun questions, and getting down to the nitty-gritty of the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is out in theaters, soon to be out all over the world, I assume, on some sort of streaming. So we will see that in the short future. But the first question I guess I have is just, what was your favorite part of this whole process of making, and directing the movie?
Oh, that's an easy question. And my favorite part of the process was getting to work with people who were so talented. Every single person on this movie is literally the most talented at their job in the world, from the artists to the actors, to the designers, and to just be able to watch people create stuff that was so amazing was a privilege.
Awesome. You mentioned that you had created this movie during, the COVID times where you had to do a lot of that over Zoom. How was that experience? Was it difficult to, have to talk to people over the internet rather than have that in-person interaction, or what do you think?
I think, at first the whole COVID situation was like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make a movie that's usually made with everybody together and everybody's now separate? And I was really impressed by how resourceful the people I worked with were, and how quickly everybody was able to transition to working from home. And even departments that you don't get a lot of credit in the movie making business, like the IT department, they were able to set up high-speed internet for everybody and high-speed access. Within 2 weeks, everything was running smoothly. And at some point, I actually liked just being able to roll out of bed and go into work. I didn't even take a shower. That was cool. So it was really inspiring to see everybody sort of overcome this challenge and make a movie from home.
When you first, received news of doing the Super Mario Brothers movie and directing it, which is the first for you, right? What was your reaction to that huge news?
I think it was hard to believe, because I had grown up playing Super Mario Brothers. It was probably like my favorite game growing up, and then 30 years later to find myself in a position where I got to be just involved in the movie, working with these characters that are so beloved and popular. It was exciting, and then to be a new director, or at least the role being new, that was an exciting challenge, which was intimidating and inspiring. And I was a little bit worried about how that would go, but ultimately it's like everyone around me was so talented. It really made the process smooth.
If you could pick one thing that was the most challenging aspect, from start to finish of this movie, what do you think was the biggest challenge you had to face during its creation?
I would say the biggest challenge for me for this movie was going from TV. TV is a very fast production schedule, and you're always just, got to get the next episode out, and there's an urgency behind everything. Filmmaking, you do it a little bit slower, and you're getting things, just right. So sometimes you're changing things just, 2%, 1%, all in the goal of making something like that memorable that'll, live hopefully forever. Whereas TV, it's like, oh, if that episode's not good, you go to the next one, and the next one might be great. And if that's great, it'll make you forget about the bad episode. But TV, for film, you got one shot, and everyone has to go a little bit slower. So me learning how to change that sort of working pace was difficult.
If you had the opportunity to do a future Mario Brothers movie, or direct a future movie, would you accept that position? Would you have any ideas in mind already for what's to come?
Oh man, I would be just so lucky to ever get a second chance to work with these characters. If they were to ask me and Aaron to do another one, I'm sure we would love to, and it would just be an honor to spend more time with these characters.
Favorite character from the movie? Not looking at the voice actors or anything, just objectively, do you have a favorite character for Mario?
From the movie, my favorite character, and it's not objective, is Luma Lee, which is played by my daughter. I think it was fun sort of watching her grow into the role of an actress, because at first it was just a scratch part, and we weren't expecting to use it, and then at some point everybody liked it, and the reality that she might be seen by a lot of people, dawned on her, and watching her sort of like slowly like understand that. That was kind of a fun process. So yeah, Lumley is my favorite. No offense to the other characters.
I think she was one of my favorite too. I think she was a hit, and my first time going to the movie, I didn't even know, that like she was your daughter, or you were related to Miss Marissa's here at school. Do you have other kids, or is she your only daughter?
Oh, I have 2 other daughters. They're younger, and so it has put pressure on me. Whatever.
Yeah. What were their thoughts? Of being left out of this Mario Brothers movie? They're upset, or.
So I've told them I'll make it up to them maybe on some other future project I'm working on. Hopefully there's something that's right that they're perfect for. But they also know that this was just kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. It probably won't happen again. But I do have a little dad pressure now to like find something for them.
Yep. Did you have a favorite Super Mario Brothers game growing up or currently?
Yeah, definitely. My favorite Super Mario Brothers game was the original Super Mario Brothers. I come from I would say it was like a poor family, but we didn't have that many options. I literally had one game I could buy, so I basically played that Super Mario Brothers over and over and over and over, and the universe made it all work out for me.
Yeah. The Peaches song, Jack Black, and it becoming so iconic, not just in the movie, but I feel like over the country and on social media. How did that come about? What role did you play in that song's creation, and how it came to be?
Well, the song, I think we were trying to avoid having a song in the movie for most of the time, because we didn't want people to go, oh, that's Jack Black. We were worried that if Bowser started singing a song, we'd remember Jack Black is performing. But at some point we had to get a lot of what we information, exposition. Sometimes, those are really boring scenes when you have to sort of convey information to the audience. And one of the most interesting ways we could think of was to do it in the form of song, and Jack Black being so talented musically. So we tried something. We wrote what we call a demo, just a rough version of the song, and everybody at the studio loved it. And then the question was, could we get Jack Black to sing it? And I think he was a little bit hesitant at first. He's like, yeah, very, very guarded. I like to protect the music. And he said, but he agreed to listen to it. As soon as he listened to it, he's like, this is great. And he took the song, him and his partner, John Spiker, they took our cheap demo and they turned it into like the magnificent song that you hear now. So it was really a group effort, but ultimately, like, Jack's overwhelming talent is what elevates it to what it is.
Awesome. And you're a native from San Pedro. A lot of people don't know San Pedro. It's kind of overshadowed by Los Angeles. If you had to pick one restaurant recommendation to give to all the people of the world, if they're coming to visit San Pedro, what would you give them?
Man, San Pedro has a lot of places that are close to my heart. Just from my childhood, since I was a little kid eating Busy Bee sandwiches or Bono's Pizza, those are 2 of my favorite things. I always come back to go. And I had so many family celebrations at Raffaello's. That always is fun for me to go back there too. So those are quintessential San Pedro places.
Yeah, and you are also an alum from San Pedro middle schools and high schools. And I'm a teacher as well. So if you had one word of advice for students out there looking to pursue a career in writing or directing or just anything in general, what advice would you give them?
The advice I would give is work. You can't get around doing the work. Anything you want to, if you want to do something in the arts, or you want to sort of make your mark, whether sports, arts, songs, music, I think you have to put in the work, because whenever you start something, you're kind of terrible at it at first. We don't really understand that aspect. We have ambition, but we don't necessarily know. Like, if we knew how terrible we were at first, I don't think we'd start the process of getting better. But I think that's important to keep in mind.
Perfect. Well, that's all the time we have. So I just want to thank Michael again for giving us his time and doing this interview with us. If you haven't watched yet, go watch Super Mario Brothers movie now. Thank you.